Well, hello everyone. Welcome to 2018. I have been hanging out for this moment because we haven't hung out together for 5 weeks since before Christmas. And as many of you know, I've been away on a kind of a form of holiday, very different holiday this year because of Jodie's health. Let's just talk about that very briefly, just to bring you all up to speed. Jodie is doing really well, and her chemo, we are more than halfway. She's only got 4 treatments left. Can you believe that it was August last year that Jodie was diagnosed with bowel cancer? For those of you who don't know about this, Jodie was my wife, diagnosed with bowel cancer August the 11th, a day I will never forget, last year, and ever since then we've been on the journey towards her hopefully full recovery, and so she has been an absolute trooper, and we are hoping, like I'm sure many of you are hoping, for a really positive, healthy 2018, and I hope your year has kicked off well, and I'm really looking forward to the new year, spending 2018 with you here every Monday at this exact moment in time. So have a look at your watch right now, because if you are watching this live, then you will know your time in your part of the world. So for example, Yuhui, who is in Georgia, it's 11 p.m. for them, and you'll know what time it is in your part of the world. It's 2 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. I'm in Brisbane, Australia, and I'm going to be doing this with you every week at Monday, the same time. We're going to hang out, we're going to answer your questions live, and we will always kick off generally with a topic of discussion, and that'll give us something to launch our Q&A off, and it will also just keep us focused on different things throughout the year. And then every week we're going to be doing 2 other videos, pre-recorded videos that will go live. One really in-depth one on Wednesdays, 5 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, which for many of you will be your Tuesdays. And then on Friday mornings, I've started a new series. It's kind of a reboot of an old series called The Vocal Pit Stop. And it's a less than 2-minute short fire video. Hey, why don't you let me know in the comments section, because all of you are already off to a roaring start in the comments with the live comments. Let me know how you're enjoying those vocal pit stops. And if you are not watching this live, hey, why don't you engage with this video in the comments section below, and let us all know that you've had a watch, and I'll do my best to answer your questions even after the video is no longer live. But a big part of this program is the live interaction that we get, and already we've got so many people jumping in here, so many old friends that have really been a part of this journey that we've been doing for the last, probably last 12 months that we've been doing this show. But this is the first time I'm going to dedicate this same time every week, in part in response to what some of you had said. Now, just to give you an insight into what this year is going to do before we kick into today's subject. So we're going to be doing the 3 videos. Now, I want to let you know, so I've got a whole heap of videos slated, ready to go already, that are sitting there that have already been pre-edited. I want to let you know about a very special video that I have got going live. I'm not going to tell you a lot about it just yet, but on the 31st, Wednesday, the 31st of January, I'm going to be having a live video, a pre-recorded video that will go live. It'll be in the usual Wednesday slot, and I'll tell you this much. It is going to be about TV talent shows. I'm not going to say any more. It's going to be around about 10 minutes long, and I have actually engaged a video production director to do a whole heap of stuff around this, and I'm really excited about it. I haven't actually seen it yet myself, so I'm really got this excited sort of, you know, thing about it, and I think it's going to be a really big video this year to get us really going. when that video goes live, you'll see it. It'll come up in your, if you subscribe to this channel, then it's going to come up in the usual way in your feed. I want to ask a big favor. When we get to that video, and look, this is a general favor, but in specific to this video especially, I want you to share it. Share it onto, Facebook, Twitter, send it to friends via email. This is a really quite it's specific to singers, and it's a message especially for singers, but it is a rather general topic, and I'm going to be really keen to hear your feedback. So that's going to go live on the Wednesday, the 31st of January, so in a couple of weeks, and it's getting close, and we'll see what you all think of it when it arrives. In the meantime, we'll have other videos that you'll be able to interact with. And so I want to say thanks to Karen from Singwise, who has already jumped in and is moderating our conversation today. Thanks, Karen. I watched very briefly, your live Q&A show this morning. And I just want to give you a shout out. I really love the way you talked about the difference between the passaggio and a break, and using those two words to differentiate those moments in the vocal range. I just really liked it. I hadn't ever heard anyone describe it like that, and I thought that was really handy. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't watched Karen's Q&A session today, you need to, after this video, jump over and have a watch of that, because she was always got some great things to say. So Karen is moderating, and she's going to keep an eye out for well, I've just seen Karen's comment. I've never seen you so excited about one of your videos. I'm always excited about my videos, Karen, but this one I've actually spent over $1,000 in getting it produced, so that's why I'm probably excited. I'm a little bit nervous about the dollars I've invested into it. Okay, so I want you to keep an eye out for that. I want to also let you know about some exciting things that I'm doing here at Djarts. And for those of you who have never heard me use that term before, Djarts is kind of the name of my studio. When I started it back, 16, 17 years ago, the D stands, it's DJARTS, DJ Arts. The D stands for Daniel and the J stands for Jody. Isn't that romantic? And then Arts, and we refer to it as Djarts. Because here in Australia, you don't shop at Target, you shop at Target. So it makes it sound a little bit more fancy. So here at Djarts, as you know, many of you know, I've got an exercise CD, Dr. Dan's Voice Essentials. And in fact, I might just throw this up here. And there it is at the bottom of the screen. And you can download it. Many of you already have. And that's got about 18 activities on it that you can use, and it's very fundamental. In the next couple of weeks, am going into pre-production for Exercise CD 2, and it's going to have another 10 or 12 exercises on it that just are a little bit more advanced, continue the journey on from what CD 1 does, and I am hoping for a launch date of mid-year this year, and so I'm really excited about that, and I'm hoping that many of you will be able to take advantage of that, downloading it and implementing it into your exercise regime, which we're going to talk about a little bit in a moment. And then also just to give you, and this is sort of happening way off in the distance of towards the end of this year, start of next. Yes, I am already talking about 2019. Sorry, 2018 is only just beginning, and I'm thinking that far ahead. I will be designing and presenting an online singing course. Many of you struggle, I know, to access singing lessons from highly experienced singing teachers because of the cost, and that's a very real hurdle for people to get over. And so what I'm wanting to do is give you guys access to an online course that is going to be affordable, it's going to be attainable and accessible to people who have got fewer funds. but it is going to have all fresh content as far as explanation videos and a whole range of stuff that will only be accessible through that brand new online course. I won't tell you the name of it or anything, but it's all plans, and the first stage actually to getting that all together is actually this next exercise CD. That'll come, that'll be up and running, all things being equal, by mid-year, so whether it be May or June, we're yet to see. So very exciting. I am really excited about the year. I'm excited because my wife's health outlook is looking so much brighter, given that she'll no longer have cancer in her body, which is great. But not only that, it's just going to be a wonderful year that we get to spend together here. And so what I want to do is now turn our attention to today's topic, and then we're going to get into some Q&A like we do every time we hang out here live. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Sound check. Check 1, check 2.
Okay, so as you know, make sure that you are really kind to each other in the Q&A, in the live chat that we've got happening over there. And also, hey, before I forget, I do wanted to tell you that whilst today is my first day teaching back in my private studio, and for those of you who don't know, I've got over 60 regular private students that I see over a fortnight. But every year I teach at a summer school in a place called Toowoomba. It's about an hour and a half west of where I am here in Australia. And it's called the McGregor, it's a very big, long, convoluted name. The McGregor Summer School Music Retreat. And this is the 5th year that I've participated in it. And it is so good. We have such a fantastic time this year. The wonderful thing about it is it's got very small classes intentionally. We try to really keep the classes nice and confined and tight so that everyone gets that personal attention. And this year I had a class of 10 singers, and we did an end of year showcase, an end of week showcase, and we did that on Saturday. And so when we get to the Q&A, I've got a whole heap of photos that I'm going to show you. I want you to hang around because I want to show you just what a fabulous time we have every January, because it may be something that you want to save your pennies and come and spend a week with Dr. Dan. Come and spend a week not only with me, but with some of Australia's best musical talent. We've got people who are teaching bass, keys, drums, contemporary strings, horn section. It is, and we're talking about doing music production in the future. If you want a week where you get to be immersed in music, then you've got to come and spend a week in January in 2019 with us. Anyway, I'll show you those photos in a moment. You won't see me in the photos because all the photos were taken by me. For those of you who have been here for a while, you know I'm into a bit of photography, love my my amateur level photography, and so hopefully you'll enjoy the shots that I got, not only from the performance, but from during the week. Okay, so let's talk about what are your plans this year. Let me bring you across. I want to go across to here. So, oh, that's not going to work. Let me get rid of that, and let me go here. So here we are. This is just on the channel page, everyone, and you can see that I've got us on the community tab, and there's a little ad that I had yesterday for today's live hangout. But a couple of weeks ago, I asked this question. And I asked, what will you be focusing on in 2018 when it comes to your vocal development? And I had over 350 votes, 362 to date. And I was really interested to learn and to hear back from you all. What are you going to be focusing on? And this is a really important thing. You know, if you aim at nothing, you will hit it. Now is the time to be planning your year for your vocal development. If you just kind of go through the motions, you may have heard the saying, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. And I want 2018 to be different for you. I want it to be productive. I want the hours that many of you are spending and engaging with your voice, I want them to be productive. In fact, this coming week, this Wednesday, there's a video that is going to be really important for you as you think about getting the most out of your vocal practice. And I want you to watch that video on Wednesday, because it's going to have a lot of really helpful tips. And I'll actually talk you through an article that I recently read that I didn't write it, but we use it as the scaffolding to talk about getting the most benefit out of your workout. And the first step to getting the most out of your workout is this idea. Let me just go back over here. The first step to getting the most out of your vocal workout is all about planning. Yeah, don't just rock up and think, oh, I'll just sing through this exercise CD, and you know, even if it's mine, you've got to be intentional. You've got to be mindful. And so I want to very quickly get you to think about, what is your macro process for this year? What is your big ticket item? Now, it's okay for you to have one or two. At the most, you would have 3 macro aims, big ticket items that you are wanting to achieve. So, for example, we were looking back there. For some people, in fact, let me just refresh my mind what people were saying. For some people, in fact, for 40% of the vocal registers of people who are thinking about their vocal development in 2018, for 40% of you, that was vocal registers and range. That's what you want to be focused on. That could be your big ticket item this year. Yeah? For 27% of you, it was pitch accuracy and intonation. So that means that a guiding light for you this year is going to be singing in tune, thinking about your pitch, doing things that empower your ear to develop. And then we had breath management at 20% and style and interpretation for 10%. And if I was going to put my hand up and say, probably style and interpretation would be mine. It's an area that I think I need to reinvest some time and attention back into for my own voice. And so it's thinking about, okay, what is my big ticket item? Another big ticket item this year could be, maybe you've never performed in front of anyone before. Maybe performance for you is this sort of ginormous mountain that just stares you down. Maybe this year, performance is something that you want to be able to tick that box and go, do you know what? I did it. And so for some of my students, my private students, singing in the end of year showcase is a big deal. And we really celebrate them when they achieve that big moment. For some of you, the performance thing, maybe it's actually getting back to performance. Maybe it was something you did before you, for example, had kids. And you've sort of done the baby years and the children rearing years, and now you're getting back into doing something for you. Maybe it's time for you to step back into doing this performance thing and loving it and enjoying it. There is a whole range of different reasons. For every single person that watches this video, there is that many different things that could be the big ticket item. The other thing you then want to do is, so that's macro. Then I want you to take a step down and think, okay, well, what are my micro steps to achieve that macro? What do I need to do in order to reach that big point, that big achievement at the end of the year, or to service what is going to be an overarching macro development? And this is where the calendar comes into it. So here in Australia, we have 4 school terms. So our first term, what we refer to as terms, school term. Our first term runs from about now. In fact, the school term starts next week, and it runs right through till a week before Easter, I believe. And so that's term 1. And then the kids have 2 weeks holiday. We are the land of the long weekend. We have the 2 weeks holiday, and then we have, I think it's another 10 or 11 week term, and generally the terms are around between 10 to 11 weeks, and so we have 4 of those. Educationally, this is a really helpful tool when it comes to planning your education, even as an adult, because you get to think, okay, well, I've got these 4 points, these 4 stages of development that I can take if it's performance, for example, I can be thinking, okay, maybe by the end of term 1, which is what we're starting right now, maybe by Easter I could aim to sing song X, Y, or Z in front of a small group of supportive family or friends, just at home. No lights, no mic, just completely, hey guys, do you want to have a listen to this? I just need some positive reinforcement. Maybe that's the first step. The second step is maybe you could go looking to find an open mic night. Or even you could feel like, no, I'm not ready for an open mic night. Maybe I need to sing at a student performance. So for example, here in the middle of the year, we have our what's called our On the Green performance. It's out the front of the studio, very low key, and it's designed purely to give people an opportunity to step up in a really supportive environment. No lights. We have mics, but we don't do anything big and flash with it. Maybe that could be the next step. Maybe after that, you could do the open mic, and maybe after that, you could look for something more formal. And by that stage, we're getting to Christmas carols and all sorts of wonderful community events that you can participate in and put your hand up as a potential soloist. And so you can see how we kind of use those 4 terms as these stepping stones along the calendar year to achieve the big goal. And then underneath that, so we've got the macro, we've got the micro, and then we've got the, I guess, well, I need to find a different term. I haven't written one down here, but we've got the minuscule, where we are continuing day in, day out, although for beginners, I am always keen to see you practicing every second day. A little bit of contention about that last week around my video. For those of you who saw the vocal pit stop, we talked about practicing every single day. A little bit of contention in the comments section. Taking the, just when you're working out with the voice, doing the technical stuff, that day in, day out stuff that you need to do to be developing that minuscule, that's the one step, 1 foot in front of the other kind of work that we all need to be doing in the development of our voice. Finally, this is really important in setting good goals, in setting smart goals. Make sure your goals are achievable. Yeah? That doesn't mean make them so simple that you can achieve them tomorrow, but do make sure in assessing your goals that you are thinking about that it is attainable. It's an attainable goal. There's nothing more disheartening than setting a goal that is just so far removed from reality for you to achieve in 1 year, and you get to the end of the year and you feel like, oh, I failed again. Set yourself attainable goals. And finally, did I just say finally? I think I did. One more thing before we get to Q&A. I do want you to be thinking about the fact that many times you can't do it by yourself. It is so important. I'm a fan of fantasy writing, and if I think of ones like, let's see, if I think of Lord of the Rings, Bilbo Baggins had Samwise Gamgee, didn't he? He had a friend to help him carry the ring to Mordor. if I think of Harry Potter, Harry Potter's got his two mates and his teachers who are there to help him. It's not just Harry who's doing all the work. No matter what your journey is, whether it's on the road to Mordor or to defeat Voldemort, regardless, what we want to do is make sure that we surround ourselves with our support crew, our team of people who are going to assist us in achieving the goals. Now, one support crew that you can have is right here as a part of the Voice Essentials community. If you are watching this for the first time, you got to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell, the white bell icon, so that you get notified about these live hangouts, because seriously, this is an awesome community. And I don't know if you've already seen in the notes in the comments flying past, but you know, here at I'm just clicking it up so I can have a look. Here in this community, people are so supportive of each other. We have got a great community here, and I say it on my opening video on the channel. You know, we're not the biggest YouTube channel here on YouTube for learning to sing by a long shot. Actually, I was really hoping, everyone, that we'd hit the 25,000 subscribers before today's video, but we literally missed it by just over 50 people. Regardless of numbers, we're not the biggest, and we probably never will be the biggest. But I like to think we're one of the friendliest and one of the most supportive channels that you can subscribe to. And Singwise is another channel that you need to get over to feel that love, to feel the support in your vocal development. And so, you know, so certainly this channel is going to be a part of your support team. I'll be one of your major support persons along the journey. You can use the exercise CD so that you can hear my instruction and the technical development of your voice. But not only that, there comes a point, and I'm saying this regularly on the channel, in comment sections, in responding to people, there does come a point where you do need to get private instruction, where you've got that private injection and instruction and leadership to direct you to doing the right things with your voice, and that you've got that person, whether it be with online singing lessons, which I also offer, or private instruction with someone in your hometown, where you can bring your voice to them and they can guide you, they can mold you, they can direct you, and they can support you. Don't try to do this thing by yourself. And that's what we're all about here at Voice Essentials. I hope that's been a helpful part of our discussion. We are going to go over to our Q&A now, and I see our man, the conversation is rocking over in the live chat. So let's get over there and let's start answering your questions. It's time to make sure you leave your Q&A, your questions in the live stream, so that we can answer a few of those coming right up. Okay, so as promised, those photos that are happening directly below me, which I'm just going to let run, are actually some photos that I took during the week of our time together up at USQ music retreat. It was awesome. We had such a great time, and I hope maybe next year you can join us. Okay, so I'm going to jump up here. Now you're going to continue to see the rolling live chat there. But I'm going to jump up here and just scroll through. And I remember seeing one question jump in here from the very beginning that I wanted to answer, because it was asked right up at the beginning. So stick with me. I'm just seeing some comments here about a live delay, and I don't know why that would be. I wonder if that's helped. We had problems with that a couple of videos ago. This live YouTube Hangout thing can be really challenging. Okay, technically speaking, I am still looking for the handy video, the question. There is a retracted question up earlier, and maybe that's what it was. I'm going to come down here and see if I can find some of you. Many of you are saying Happy New Year. Yeah, and a Happy New Year to all of you. When the audio is not synced with the video, here's a question. Okay. I struggle with high notes as my larynx goes up. Is it okay to sing with the high larynx? Yeah, Subia, hopefully I'm pronouncing your name correctly there. Subia, it is okay to sing with a high larynx, as long as the larynx is not held high and that you're not habitually singing with a high larynx. So what I tend to try and direct my students to is a larynx that has buoyancy, that it's able to move with what's required. So there are times where the larynx needs to be lowered in a manner that allows more shape and space at the back of the throat. But there are other times where we want the larynx to come high. So if we're doing twang or belt, there will be a heightening, a raising of the larynx. But if the larynx remains high, then it's probably going to wear and tear at the voice, and it's labor intensive, and it's purely unnecessary. There's no necessity for the larynx to remain high all the time. And so it really comes down to the piece that you're singing. And the other thing too is that it generally doesn't have to be as high as the singer thinks. And so if there's too much pressure up underneath the larynx, then the larynx is going to be going into a not only high position, but also a constricted position. And so we're wanting to always be careful that when the conditions try to form constriction, because that means that the singer is going to have to work way too hard, and so it's something to be mindful of. Coming down further, I hope that was a helpful answer. Guys, I hope you're enjoying the photos. Leave me a thumbs up if you're enjoying the photos. Gavin is writing here. Oh, I've just seen Cockney's and Dan's video still looks like a dubbed Bruce Lee or Jackie Chan movie. Oh dear, is it that bad? Oh, I'm having a look over here. All of my indicators are suggesting that it's okay on YouTube. So everyone, I hope it's improved as we're going. So Gavin's written here, my low notes got weak, which is a bummer for me. I still can go down to F2, but it's not as strong as before. But then I got ease in my fourth octave and my agility improved. Low notes, it's a funny thing, isn't it? We spend so much time talking, just like I did, about high notes, that we do forget to work on our lower register and to think about our entire range. And I have a video, Gavin, which I'd be surprised if you haven't seen, because I know you watch a lot of my videos, about working on lower notes and getting more strength and power down at the bottom there. And so you might want to have a check that out, and talking about getting those lower consistent notes. And it really does in part come down to the larynx being free, the breath pressure being really balanced. A lot of people feel like they've got to sit their head down on it, and you don't want to find yourself doing that. Looking over at the time, and I'm going to have to answer a couple more questions, I think, and then we'll call our first live hangout for 2018 to a close, because I've got two other students that I have to see this afternoon. Coming down here, looking down, Music Lover 700 is saying, I'm doing covers and I need some ideas. If If you have a specific song you like, let me know. Okay, well, those people might like to go and check your channel out, Music Lover, and give you some suggestions for covers. And just while I'm on that, I can't see any names here that have asked me thus far, but a lot of people do ask me to review. I mean, when I say a lot of people ask me to review their videos and their songs here on YouTube, and I've just got a blanket line: I do not do that. Do you know what? Purely from a time point of view, I literally cannot keep up with the demand of that, and so I just have a blanket, it's just so it's fair to everyone. Some people get a review and some people don't. I just don't do it, okay? So if you are, ever think, oh, maybe I should send Daniel, ask for a review here, you will receive a polite decline from me. And I know that's not what a lot of you would like to hear, but it's just purely a time thing, keeping up with it all. Coming down here, Yahui's gone. It's good to see Linda back. Happy New Year, Linda. I will be seeing you tomorrow online for your private lesson, and Linda also with Karen is also moderating our conversation. Coming down here, looking for other questions. Karina Chen, the online course will be good for us that I just spoke about. I hope so, Karina. I'm going to do my best to really, one of the things I don't like about a lot of online courses is a lot of them are poorly produced. The content might be good, but they can be a bit hard to watch because someone's just done it with their webcam. I'm going to work really hard to make, as to the best of my ability, the quality something that you're going to enjoy engaging with, and so that you get given really good materials, like learning materials, not only the exercise CD, which I'm going to my thinking at this stage is I'm going to include the exercise CD in the price where you purchase the online thing. And so, this is where I want to really make it as, really enjoyable for you to engage with. So, Karina, I'm really hoping you'll get something out of it. Coming down here, in fact, there's a question from Karina. Please tell me how to get rid of breathy tone and have better chord closure. Interesting question, Karina. There is one of the more recent exercise videos on my channel. You can jump across. In fact, let me go over here and I'll see if I can show you where it, oh, not that one. Oh, how do I get rid of that? Go away, come back to here and I'll show you, Karina, where you would find that. So you want to go looking, Karina, for, now I'm not going to find it if I go looking for it. It's here, here it is. This one here, strengthen your, how to stop singing breathy, the strengthen your voice with me pointing at the 6 minutes and 28 seconds. You might want to go and have a look at that video, Karina, and it will show you, where am I going? Back over here, people. It will show you exactly for that very topic. You'll get a lot out of it without me going into it now. And I've just seen this comment here from Bakay. My voice is so weak and soft. Actually, Bakay, you should go and have a look at that very same video. I think you'll find it helpful. Yahui, I wave my hands a lot when I talk, so all songs have hand motions. That's an interesting topic of conversation. Just very briefly now, Yahui, the most important thing about hand motions and waving your hands and using hand gestures, the most important thing about that when you are developing as a singer is to think about your hands really only need to move when they are motivated to move. Otherwise it becomes very pantomimey, and you don't want people to have hurdles put in front of them when they are watching your performance. You want them to engage with your performance. We actually spent a lot of time last week at the summer school talking about these performance values, and one of those things is thinking about what is motivating the character within any song to be singing, saying the words, the lyric that they are saying. What is the driving emotion? What is the subtext? That's where we get our motivation from, that then causes us to go, yeah, why? We don't just go, why? We actually think about our hands and why they're doing what they're doing. So maybe that'd be something for you to think about also. Now, coming down here, we're going to give one last question away today. Coming down. Oh, that's a really good point, Karen. I think I need some accountability for some of my goals. I need someone to help me stay on track, and I think we all do, and that's where what I was getting at earlier. Hopefully it seems like we had some more audio troubles earlier, but that's what I'm getting at. Sometimes we need that person alongside us to help us and to keep us on track, to guide us, to lead us, and often for a singer, that's their singing teacher. Coming down here, okay, so Subia's got another point there, but we've already given Subia one question today. Coming down, well, there's a lot of stuff going on here. Okay, so Yahui, I don't know whether I've already given Yahui, I think I might have already talked. Anyway, I'm going to give Yahui the last question. Here we go. I was at a concert singing with my favourite band. Someone said the reason I could hit the low notes was was false vocal cords, something with the muscles around the vocal cords. Yeah, so let me just quickly grab Lenny. So your false vocal folds, so this is the rear of the voice, this is the front of the voice. So the vocal folds are that white line going along the center that they kind of separate out. I mean, that it's just a model, so it's not exactly showing us a really great picture of it. But the false folds are actually up along the side. Yeah, they sit up along here. They're not really shown on Lenny here. And they sit, if that's your vocal folds, then the false folds kind of sit, if that's your vocal folds, the false folds kind of sit up and to the side of them. And what can happen is we have what's called false fold constriction, and that's where the false folds start to bear down on the true folds. Hitting low notes is unlikely to be because of your false vocal folds. They may lend colour, maybe. You've got to remember your low notes are coming about because of a shortening of the vocal folds. Yeah? And so because the vocal folds, if you think of your voice, so the vocal folds, this is a long note, and your vocal folds shorten and get fatter as you sing lower. False folds typically are lending body to in behind the vocalis muscle. The problem with false folds is if they get too tense and too much tension is formed with them, then you end up with constriction. It's a big challenge for contemporary singers who have too much subglottal pressure, air pressure sitting up underneath the larynx, because the false folds want to help the true folds to hold that pressure back. So I wouldn't be given to suggesting that you're being able to hit low notes because of false vocal cords. I would be given to thinking that you're hitting your lower notes because the vocal folds, the true folds, are feeling like they can activate and come down and get, get shorter and fatter. So I hope that's helpful. Okay. So here we go. I think we've got to, in fact, I've just looked at the time. We do have to finish for today. Everyone, I hope you've enjoyed our discussion. Let me just come over here. And I hope you enjoyed the videos too. Leave the video a thumbs up. I'll check out the audio, hopefully, and have a look at what was going on earlier with that. We may have been having some challenges, so I'll have a look at that for next week and iron out all the technical issues. You know, the challenges being a one-man band here, technically can be. Thank you for your patience, is all I can say. If it has been problematic, then thanks for sticking around. And thanks for hanging out. If it is the first time you've ever watched one of these videos and you've hung out with us, hey, we would love for you to subscribe and join our ever-growing family of singers from across the globe who, just like you, want to raise their voice in song. This is a channel where everybody sings. We believe it's the birthright of every human being to, enjoy their voice. Everyone's got a voice and everyone deserves to have it heard. I hope you can join us next week. I also hope you'll join us on Wednesday and Friday when we've got 2 other videos that go live here on the channel. I very much look forward to seeing you next week. I hope you have a wonderfully safe and fantastic week, and I'll see you next time. My name's Dr. Dan. Sing well.